What is our point of support? Is it in ourselves or outside us? It's incredible. Are we self-poised, or does our balance depend on something external?
If I externalize the answer, meaning that I am dependent on something outside of me for me to keep my balance, to stay in alignment, then I'm always going to look for everything and all of the answers somewhere else outside of me.
We are just a channel. We have to let this power flow through us and to express itself. Troward says, my mind is a center of divine operation. The divine operation is always for expression and fuller expansion. It's incredible. This we have to do. This is our only nature. Our consciousness has to be related to how open or how close is our heart.
Yes.
Every moment of our day, we need to monitor our heart. Is closing down or is opening? We need to let it be always open.
Thank you for tuning into Hilantra podcast. Get ready for a dose of holistic wellness talks to help you achieve optimal health. Enjoy this episode.
Welcome everyone to this new episode of the I Am Factor with my co-host Gianluca. The I Am series is a series where we dive deep into the power of self-awareness, transformation, and the role of mindset in shaping our reality. And today's episode is very, very interesting, very juicy. It's called From Energy to Matter. And the subject of energy has been everywhere in every shape and form. But today we're going to give our own thoughts, our own experience about it. So I'm going to give the mic to Gianluca. So Gianluca, kickstart.
Thank you very much. Rasha, I would like to start today with my favorite author, a Troward. No, everyone knows already, but it's a chapter that is a beautiful chapter, absolutely beautiful and meaningful chapter. It's a chapter from The Hidden Power that we already mentioned several times. It's called Touching Lightly. Beautiful, beautiful.
Wow.
Already the sound, touching lightly. It's incredible. And I want to start from the beginning, because in the beginning actually is very powerful already, because Troward asked to everyone some beautiful and very deep questions. What is our point of support? Is it in ourselves or outside us? It's incredible. Are we self-poised, or does our balance depend on something external? And I want to end this point. According to the actual belief in which our answer to these questions is embodied, so will our lives be.
Wow.
Already, he says, these are the questions, and these are the most important questions because they change your life. I mean, they are the signals of what are the beliefs you have about them. And so, according to the beliefs you have about these points, your life completely changes. My God, so we are like, a really special land here. We have to be very careful. And so I would like to ask to you, but also to myself, and I'm asking this continuously. What is our point of support?
Mm.
Is it in ourselves or outside us? Our point of support.
Yeah, I really like the way that you start the conversation today. I mean, now everybody might be asking, what does this have to do between energy and matter? And we're going to get to it. But if I think about it, so you're asking me, what is my point of support? If I think about it, and then if externalize the answer, meaning that I am dependent on something outside of me for me to keep my balance, for me to keep to stay in alignment, then I'm always going to look for everything and all of the answers somewhere else outside of me. And then my entire life is going to be a journey of looking for something or happiness or success or fulfillment somewhere else. And it's always going to feel like that is going to be separate from me. That's what it means to me. And then if I bring it back to myself, it's very empowering and it's very fulfilling. And there's a sense of relief when you realize that, or when you also tell yourself and when you believe in yourself that this is something that's coming from within, right? And this is also shaping our relationship with God, with our Creator. And I want to add something else that is so beautiful from what you said about, what was the word you used? Gentle? Is it gentle?
Lightly touching.
Lightly touching. It's so funny because we didn't have this conversation. We didn't talk about this. We don't usually prepare too much before any episode, okay? But this is such a big coincidence because I usually like to learn about the names and attributes of God, right? And we have so many listed. And just yesterday, I was listening to a lecture about the specific name called in Arabic means Al-Latif. And Al-Latif means in subtle, but it also means the kind one, the soft one. It's the subtle one that his strength comes from a subtlety that we cannot even perceive. And also his strength comes from, and his power comes from this kindness and this softness. And we usually, when we think about God, it's always like, there's power, strength. And most of the time we might forget that there is power and strength in subtlety. There's power and strength in kindness, which if we project back to ourselves, unfortunately, many people who are by nature very kind to others, many people perceive kindness as weakness, and it's not. And so some people might grow up saying, I'm a kind person, so people are going to take me for a fool. But if you change this mindset, instead of trying to play it tough, and say, my kindness comes from strength, because not everybody is born with this gift and not everybody can be kind. It's so easy for us to just be angry and act out of anger. But is it easy to act out of kindness when you're not feeling inside you some kind of peace towards other people? So there is strength in kindness, and I really like that statement, because it brought me back to all of those points. And I'm sorry I diverted a lot out of the question.
No. It's incredible because you didn't know. You didn't know that
No.
I was going to start from this chapter, but you touched all different relevant points of this
Wow.
reading. So we will speak about this. You said strength in weakness. There is strength in weakness. And what Chowers wants to highlight is just this, that when we speak about light, when we speak about gentleness, as you said, this is expression of strength, not weakness. Okay?
Exactly.
You mentioned also something that remind me about what is written in the Bible, no? That say God is not in the power of thunder, for example, but is in the gentle wind.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's wow.
Wow.
It's really a topic that make us go very deep inside of ourselves also, no? It's
That's
incredible.
true.
And here Trower goes deep and say, in everything there are two parts. He's trying to explain it. In everything there are two parts, the essential and the incidental. The true knowledge always consists in distinguishing these two from each other. So distinguished the essential from the incidental. And error always consists in misplacing them. So in considering the essential, the incidental, and the incidental, the essential. The incidental, it doesn't describe the incidental and the essential just because in a previous chapter in the Hidden Power he spoke about them. I think just in the first chapter he said that the essential is the cause, is what doesn't change, is what always remain itself the same. The incidental is just a reflection of the essential. So it what changes according to the power he reflects. So and now he's trying to introduce this comparison between us, because here at stake are ourselves on one side, on the other side there are the circumstances, the conditions of our life. So he say we are going to decide which one is the essential and which one is the incidental. So please, he say, make the good decision, because everything from this decision depends on all our life. And here you are going to consider if yourself is the incidental or the essential.
Wow. Wow.
So are we the incidental or are we the essential? Because if we say, and here we take again the first question, if we say that our point of support is outside of us, it means that we are not the essential, we are the incidental. The essential is what is outside of us. Can we take something like that? I
No.
don't think so.
No, because we're always going to be looking for it somewhere else. We're always going to be looking somewhere outside of us. It's so beautiful. That's so beautiful.
Absolutely. And here, just to conclude this point, there is a place when he speaks about weakness. He said, if then we make the mistake of reversing the true position and suppose that the energizing force, because the essential is the energizing force, okay, the energizing force comes from the merely accessory circumstances. So if the energizing force is in the circumstances outside of us, we make them our point of support and lean upon them and stand or fall with them accordingly, because the circumstances can't be a point of support. They are always changing. We said, some time ago, we said, don't give me the facts, give me the truth, because the facts are always changing. They can't be our point of support. And so we come into a condition, says Strower, of weakness and obsequious waiting on all sorts of external influences. When I read this expression, waiting, obsequious, waiting on all sorts of external influences, how many times we just wait for the exact conditions, not for us to act or to, even feel our power. If I could have these conditions in my life, I'm not lucky. When we say I'm not lucky, it means I don't possess the condition I should possess in order to act and to win, for example.
Yeah. It's amazing because this combines everything in one topic, right? Because you have, we're going to get to it again, the energy versus matter, but then you have the intention versus consequence, which is what we were talking about in our first episode. And you have the source versus, or like you said, the source versus the facts. And what is primary, what is secondary, what is the essential, and what is the like you said, of that essence, of that primary source. And it makes me think about, I just saw a post a while back in Instagram because it's so beautiful. It was a reflection of lights and somebody just doing an experiment with lights, and how white light, when you pass it through a prism and it diverges and it has all these beautiful, right, like all the different colors. And then if you just change something in the external, then you see the reflection of the lights changing, right? But the white light never changes. It's just the way that you see the expression of it through a particular medium. And to me, that medium is your perception, your consciousness, and your perception of things. So if you think you're not lucky, that's a medium. So you are taking your source, that white energy, you're passing it through the medium of I am not lucky, and therefore the consequences of that, what is it going to reflect? Everything that's going to validate your belief of you are not lucky. all the consequences in your life are going to be just, see, I knew it. It's going to be a reflection of that. And it's really, really beautiful, because also something else that you said is, if we rely on the outside of the consequences, we can either be standing or we will fall. So the consequences, like you said, are ever changing. So how can you rely on something that is not?
Yes, because in this case you are saying I'm not the cause, I'm the effect, but I'm the effect of something that is not stable, something that can be the cause, but I'm the effect of this, of such a cause. So this kind of cause, which can be proper a cause. Okay. So this is incredible. Everyone would say, okay, but sorry, I know that I'm a cause. I'm not the effect. Okay, but please, here we are speaking about beliefs, not what we say consciously. Okay,
Yes.
beliefs. How many times? And this is something that is true for me, and true, I think, also for you, Rasha. How many times during our day we say, "Oh, I can't be happy now because my condition is such. I can't be happy now. In order to be happy, I need to have this, and this. I have to reach what I set as a goal." I mean, you are making yourself an effect of something that is external. And this is a condition of weakness.
Wow. Wow, you're giving me quite a lot to think about. I'm going really deep. Like, we're talking here, but my mind is going, I don't know how many miles an hour. That's really, really profound. Really profound. Wow.
And here we come to the topic, no? About the energy, about the matter, and so, because we are spiritual beings
Yes,
in a physical body, and we have
exactly.
an intellect with which we can tap into our spiritual being, okay? And to change with it, we said, I think in the beginning, to change everything on the physical side. So we are spiritual being, not physical being. Spiritual being in a physical body, and we have an intellect. So we actually live on three different levels of understanding. We live on three different levels of understanding. According to the level of understanding on which we live, our consciousness, our type of consciousness, we are more spirit, more energy, or more matter.
Yeah, 100%.
Once we say we are an effect of the circumstances, and the circumstances are the cause. So when I say that I depend on the circumstances, I'm saying that I'm so weak
Yeah.
because I'm just physical. I'm matter. And in this case, it means that you are not in control of your circumstances, okay? Because if the circumstances have the effect on you, no, to make you happy or not, it means that you can't control the circumstances. So you are so weak that you can't control the circumstances, okay? And what you do when you can't control things? You fight with things because you try to survive. You try to survive. And so you start fighting with things. You use your force. What does it mean, force? It means trying to change matter with matter.
Yes.
You are fighting with matter on the physical level, on their level. You are losing all your spiritual power.
Yes.
Because you are ignoring this power. Have no consideration for this power.
Yeah. And for matter to change matter, like you said, why does it take energy? Because you have to move through time and space. You have to move through space to get something done. And that takes time and that takes energy. And if you completely disregard that spiritual aspect, that essence, that white light, that is the source of all energy. You are completely disregarding it. That's why we have, you get tired. That's why you get sick. That's why you get anxiety. That's why you get all these sort of manifestations, other circumstances that are expressed as a result of your inner state, because your inner state is always looking for something, is always nervous, is always saying, I don't have, it's in lack, I need to get there to get it.
Yes.
And so the manifestation of that belief is all of these things that are painful, right? The physical, the mental, the everything. And something that you said this when you described us as we are the spirit and who have an intellect and we are expressed in a physical form, it reminded me again of that example of the prism. So the white light is our soul, and then whatever the medium is your intellect, that's your belief system, and then the light that is expressed, that's your physical being, the matter, the way that it's expressed through that prism. And it's so beautiful, and I'm going to hang on to that visual for the remainder of our talk, because every time I think about it, then more thoughts and more, inspirations keep coming.
Yeah,
And
I mean, this image of the prism is perfect because it's what Trowers is speaking about. The only thing is that he's asking us, where do you think the light comes from? From the outside of you or from inside of you? This is what changes everything. If we believe that the light that we reflect, because we are a reflection, but one thing is to be a reflection on something external. One thing completely different is to be a reflection on something that is part of us, something that forms us. I mean, is not outside of us. So we are a reflection of ourselves, of what we are. It's incredible, no? We are prism. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
yes. So how can we tap into that white light? How can we tap into it? Right? That is the question. So first is realizing that you are the white light. You're not the rainbow. You're not the expression of that white light through the prism, through whatever medium it's going through. So first is that realization. Okay, check. You have that understanding. You believe that. Then how do you tap into it so that you can have access to that infinite source of energy?
How to tap it? It's just a question of consciousness. Now we need to grow in the considerations. Okay, you said the first step is to have a certain kind of consideration, okay? But our life is just aimed at growing this consideration. And as we grow in the consideration, also this power grows. This light becomes, more powerful, becomes a laser because concentrated. And this is beautiful, the only limit to this power is the limit placed on the form it flows through.
Wow.
The only limit placed on this power is the limit placed on the form it flows through. We are the limit. So we have to enlarge these, these limits, these boundaries, because we are the limit. We are the limit, the only limit placed on this power, on this energy. It's like, Bob Proctor uses this image of the light, the lamp, okay? The electric bulb. Actually, the electric bulb is like us. I mean, this energy, the electricity is, without limits, no? You can, but it's different if you use a 50 watt electric bulb or 100 watt electric bulb. Is different. You would see more of the light on the second, because you use a larger form. Okay,
That's so
it's
true.
incredible. Yeah,
That's incredible.
So,
It makes me think about this source, this light source is always trying to express itself. So whether you're aware of it or not, it exists, right? So going back to that first point of becoming aware of it, whether you're aware of it or not, it exists. And it's always trying to express itself. It's always trying to make itself present in your life, in your awareness, in your consciousness. And how does it do that? You either give it the space for it to manifest itself in your life by consciously becoming more aware. And like you said, Gianluca, is expanding our consciousness in order to expand that vessel so that life can express itself in a wider format. Or we can just stay in our comfort zone, right? That's what we talk about sometimes, is we stay in our comfort zone, but that light is going to express itself yes or yes. And so that's why sometimes when we stay in our comfort zone, we get hit with these, moments in our life where we call them the dips, because life's going to waves. The dips, the low part in our life, is because if you are trying to stay in your comfort zone, but this light is wanting to be expressed and expand, and you are resisting that expansion, it's going to be painful. So you're either going to allow for that expansion on a constant level. On a daily basis, you have to be conscious about that expansion, and you're conscious about you expanding your own vessel, or you're going to resist it, and that is what's going to cause pain. And I have a very interesting example. I'm part of this group of women. We got together. We're all mothers. We all live in Dubai. And a friend of mine, she's the one who organized it a year ago. And we got together to support each other. We get together once a month and we talk. And on our first meeting, we went around the table and everybody just said one intention. And more than 90% of us were saying, I am in a transitional phase and I want to see what's next in my life. 1 year later, and then we were meeting on a monthly basis. We were doing activities. We had different kind of talks. 1 year later, we were celebrating that we met a year ago. And we did the same thing again. And we went around the table. And I don't think anybody else noticed it because I was just sitting there perplexed. And everybody, again, the 90% of people were saying, I'm in a transition place. I'm in a place where I need to see what's next in my life. So we are in a constant transition place. There is no it. The it is death. There is no it, right? So we're either going to go with that. That's the flow we want to go with. We either go with that flow or we're going to resist, and then things are going to be painful.
This is a spiritual life. Spiritual life is growth. Yeah. And the only growth is to understand that you don't have to block this energy, this power that is flowing to and through you. And yes, this is what we have to do. And we spoke already some time ago about positive intelligence, PQ positive intelligence, their study, their research. They simplify everything with factor analysis. And they said there are two brains. We have just like two parts of the brain, one saboteur brain, the other sage brain. The saboteur brain is all our strategies, the strategies to survive that we developed in the first years of our life, our little life. If you see, you mentioned all these negative emotions, okay? Yes, just negative emotion. These negative, and when we see negative emotions coming into our life, they are just expression of this, what we call saboteurs, these strategies we developed to survive. Okay, all these strategies are our way, in different ways, to block this energy, to block this power. Every time, and you said very correctly, every time we try to block this energy, it's painful. It's painful because it's unnatural. It's against what we are here to do. We are just a channel. We have to let this power flow through us and to express itself. Always, Troward says, my mind is a center of divine operation. I already mentioned this thing. The divine operation is always for expression and fuller expansion. It's incredible. This we have to do. This is our only nature, to be a channel. We can't block this. And also there is another amazing author that is, very well, Michael Singer. And this book that I suggest to everyone to read.
I love
he
it.
speaks about, all this book and all his life, or all the surrender experiment, that is the second book that was very popular, is all about letting this power, this energy flow. Don't block. Let your heart, he says, be open, because every time that our consciousness has to be related to how open or how close is our heart.
Yes.
Every moment of our day, we need to monitor our heart. Is closing down or is opening? We need to let it be always open. Otherwise, we'll stop everything. We are not a channel anymore. We become, and here we go back to the topic, we become more matter than energy.
Yeah, so true.
It's incredible.
So I'm going to summarize what we've said so far. So once is start with the awareness that you are more energy than matter, that you are that white light trying to manifest itself in its fullest expression, or every time it keeps expanding its expression. So the first step is awareness, and then the second step is your intellect. The more you are aware about how your mind works and your belief system, and the more that you clear that belief system, and then you don't allow these obstacles, because I call them obstacles, to limit you and to block you or block that essence of yours from expressing itself through your intellect, through your mind, then you are on the right path of expansion. And then the third one, which you beautifully said, is through our heart. So the heart, I call it, it's the gateway to the soul, right? And if you are operating or you're living your day-to-day with an open heart, and how do you live with an open heart? I mean, so just so we're not just throwing ideas here without giving context to it. How do we operate from an open heart? For me, it's showing up in the world and emanating all these beautiful attributes that we know that are divine attributes, right? Which is love, compassion, mercy, kindness,
Yes.
right? And we're, like you said, then that ties up to make these emotions conditional. We don't block them by saying, if this, then that. If something happens, a circumstance which is unstable comes into my life and it's temporary, it's temporary, these circumstances. If so, they're unstable. So if this comes into my life, then I will feel happy. Then I will feel more love. Once I find a partner, then I will feel more love. Start by feeling the love. You don't need anything outside of you to feel the love. You can feel the love for yourself. You can feel the love for your creator. And this is not just more than enough. This is it. That's where everything starts. If you are able to just expand love from that perspective, then the circumstances that are going to match that are going to appear in your life like magic.
And as you can see, the starting point is always considering yourself as a point of balance and not what is outside of you. Absolutely.
Mike, we started the conversation. So going back to that very simple but very deep point, that you are the state of balance, that it's within you and it's not outside of you. Very nice. Thank you. So I have a question for our listeners and our viewers, and we would love to hear back from you. It's not all, this is a very engaging, interactive. This is the intention for our sessions, is we want everybody to be involved in the conversation and the discussion. We'd love to hear your ideas and your thoughts. So here is my question. So we touched up on different ways of how we can expand the vessel, how we can allow this consciousness, and how we can allow this light to expand and manifest itself. But if you can give us in your own lives how you practice this, how you bring this into your life, what are the things or the actions or the habits that you have in your life, or the practices you have in your life, where you consciously invite this light to expand and express itself in your life?
Wow, very nice. I want to give you just a final hint about this question. We mentioned that there are two different emotions. The only two emotions that make life possible are the fear and love. And so we already said that all our strategies to survive are based on fear, no? When why we started about the circumstances? If I can't control the circumstances, I'm afraid of the circumstances. And so I have to protect myself from the circumstances, trying to change them on a physical plane. Okay. On the other side, there is love. So how you make love, let love flow through you. If you unblock it, so if you take away all these barriers that are fear, they are based on fear, all these negative emotions. So one hint is identify when you are fighting with negative emotions during your day, during your life. These are the moments of growth. When you are consciously fighting against these emotions.
Wow. Thank you, Gianluca. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And we look forward to our next one.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode. We hope you found it insightful and you enjoyed it as much as we did creating it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Let's continue creating this amazing community of holistic wellness seekers and practitioners together. See you in the next one.